Hey good people, my name's Hayden, I'm an emergency doctor and I help people learn how to have difficult conversations. In today's video we're going to be talking about why our approach to difficult conversations has to be different to the kind of approach we would use for any regular conversation. And the key is structure. When we're just having fun talking to a friend, an everyday conversation, we're not really giving any importance to how we're structuring the conversation. But when we've got to give bad news or feedback or have some other kind of difficult conversation, structure becomes so much more important. Anyway, to see what I mean, let's just get straight into it. Structure is important in difficult conversations because it provides us with something to orient off and increases the predictability of the conversation. Depending on our personality and the particular situation we're in, we all have different needs in terms of our desire for novelty versus our desire for predictability. When we're in a comfortable situation, perhaps having a conversation with someone we know and trust, our desires tilt towards novelty. We love to be surprised in this kind of situation. We love to be delighted. That's why humor is so important to us and so effective as a social glue. In a difficult conversation where one or both parties may feel tense or threatened, these needs are reversed and predictability becomes a much more important priority than novelty. To illustrate this concept, imagine for a moment you have gone to a show with some friends to watch your favorite comedian. You settle into your seat, one person in a crowd of hundreds, maybe thousands, and for the duration of the show, nothing is expected of you. You've paid to be entertained, and the onus is completely on the comedian to entertain you. You don't even have to laugh if you don't like it. The feeling you have is of relaxed, positive anticipation. You're expecting to be delighted and surprised. And as the comedian plies his trade up there on the stage, telling stories and delivering punchlines, that is exactly what happens. Until, out of nowhere, the comedian asks for a volunteer. No one volunteers. Suddenly things have changed a little. You're not quite as comfortable as you were a moment ago. Your heart rate goes up a notch. He starts scanning the audience. And eventually his gaze stops on you. You in the red shirt! Come on up! Suddenly you hate your red shirt. You hate your red shirt more than anything in the world. No! Your fun, relaxed night has turned into a nightmare. And you are desperate for at least one and maybe both of the following things. One, you'd like to know exactly what is going to happen next. And two, you'd like to be able to trust that this comedian will not humiliate you in front of these thousands of people. Now that's kind of what it's like for someone facing up to a difficult conversation without the skills to navigate it. That's why, once you have the skills to do it, it's your responsibility to provide structure to any difficult conversation. Increasing the predictability of the conversation by continually orienting the other person to where you are, what you've covered, and where you're going next will help them relax and trust you. See if you can recall a situation when you've been on the receiving end of a difficult conversation. Perhaps you've had a situation where you've been called into a supervisor's office for a chat, but you didn't know why. Try to recall or imagine how you felt as they kind of procrastinated about telling you what their concern was and left you completely disoriented to what the conversation was about. This is not a nice feeling. So here's my recommendation. Resolve to yourself now that you will master the structure of difficult conversations and the skills to support that structure. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you're interested in finding out more about the 80-20 blueprint and how to structure the conversation in terms of specific skills and the points at which you will change and transition throughout the conversation, you can check out these couple of videos over here and they will give you a lot more information on that. If you're interested in taking a deep dive into the actual skills and micro skills that you use during a conversation to keep it on track and to make sure you're responding to emotion appropriately, there's more content coming on all of that stuff. Finally, if you've got any suggestions, feedback or requests, please leave them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I will see you in the next video.